Good afternoon. I'd like to call this August 19th, 2025 meeting of the City of Charleston's Committee on Ways and Means to order. We'll begin by asking Councilmember Bowden to give the invocation.
Just ask everybody to observe a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 2, approval of the July 15th, 2025 meeting minutes. Did I hear a second? Sorry. Yeah, moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 3, bids and purchases. Moved and properly seconded. Looks like we have some vehicles and an IT contract and a janitorial contract for the Gill Yard. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on that? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 4 is the approval of the fiscal year 2026 CARTA budget. Moved and properly seconded.
Just before we vote, Mr. Chairman, I just want to recognize Robin Mitchum, who is our Chief Financial Officer at CARTA and the BCD COG. She's here to answer any questions that you might have about our budget. We're going to all the member jurisdictions. Just so you know, our budget passed unanimously at the CARTA board level.
Any questions or discussion on the CARTA budget? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next up, we have the resolution pursuant to section 31-6S30 of the state's tax increment financing law relating to the Cooper River Bridge redevelopment project area. And then we have 4 items next to that are borrowing against 4 existing TIFs in the amount of $73 million. I guess, could we get a motion to maybe take these 5 items together?
So moved.
Second. We've asked Ms. Wharton to come up and give an explanation.
Elaborate on those, but so at least the community will hear what's going on with it and what it's all about.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. The resolution is to allow us to use Cooper River Bridge TIF dollars to purchase 993.95 Morrison. And that because those are both in the Morrison Drive TIF district, but it's just to show that there's benefit to the Cooper River Bridge TIF that would allow us to use those funds to purchase that property. The Cooper River Bridge TIF is up to 35.5 million. Most notable projects for that is the low line, the Cooper Jackson Drainage Project in Martin Park. And I sent you all a PowerPoint presentation from the ad hoc committee that has more details on this if you have more questions. West Ashley, we're coming up on the 10-year mark that we have to borrow, so we're going ahead and doing borrowing for that. That will reimburse the developer for stormwater improvements. Last council meeting, there was a resolution talking about those stormwater improvements and the benefit that those have to the TIF district. So we're using that. Morrison Drive, we have a PI agreement with Morrison Yard LLC. They had asked for reimbursements for some public improvements that they did. So this will reimburse them for those public improvements and also be used for the Morrison Drive median improvements. And then the Charleston Neck TIF, it's the PI agreement with the developer for that, and that will reimburse them for public improvements as well.
One more question before we go on. Will that in the TIF, will it include the Jackson Street drainage in that? A little?
TIF, yes.
That would be included in that, the Jackson?
Yes.
Yeah, and just again, I think it bears mentioning or just reiterating here that items 7, 8, and 9 are part of an existing agreement that we have to reimburse the developers that for monies that they have already spent. So this was agreed upon a long time ago. This is just fulfilling our obligation because they've fulfilled theirs. As it relates to the 35 million, as Ms. Wharton has pointed out, where those funds will go. It is important to note, I wanted to make this distinction because in the resolution above it talks about 995 Morrison. It's still not 35 million or 35.5 million. It's 30 million on that purchase price, which would be coming down the road a little bit. So wanted to make that distinction that we're not borrowing more money so we can pay more money. We're borrowing more money because there are a lot of other things like the Cooper Jackson drainage, other initiatives that we've discussed that would be funded through that initial borrowing.
In that PowerPoint presentation, it lists all those projects out.
Thank you, Ms. Wharton. Any additional discussion on items 5 through 9? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Looks like items 10 through 13 are grant awards for Piccolo Splato and Moja Arts.
Move for approval 10 through 13.
We have a motion and properly seconded on, to take items 10 through 13 together and for approval. Any discussion on items 10 through 13? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 14, Community Services, Economic and Neighborhood Services, approval to accept a grant in the
Move
amount
for
of
approval.
$250,000. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this item? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 15 is a approval of the design builder contract with Maggie Ratcliffe Construction in the amount of $480,530 for
I-
professional design and demolition services.
I would
for
move to
Cooper
take
Ridge.
15 through 17 together and move their approval.
All right. Relocate Fire Station 2, 3 staff and apparatuses to 292, 296. That's George Street, right? All right. And you said items 15 through 17?
Yep, together and move for their approval.
All right. Any discussion on items 15 through 17? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
A nay on 16.
All right.
There's one nay for 16, Councilmember Parker.
The ayes have it. Item number 18 is,
Move for approval 18 and 19.
all right. These are grant awards for the fire department. We have a motion and a second to take items 18 through 19 together and for approval. Any discussion on items 18 and 19? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Item number 20 is another grant for FEMA, the elevation of 3 historic properties in the amount of $871,819. This was approved yesterday at Public Works. It's important to note that no money is coming out of the city coffers for these elevation projects. This is just a pass-through. So we're essentially a pass-through for that. Yeah. I think this is the first one we've ever done. Is that what I heard? Okay. So moved and properly seconded on item number 20. Any other discussion on item 20? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 21 is a contract in the amount of $118,490 to conduct repairs at the Hope Center. Moved and, did we get a second on that? Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Yes,
Right.
Councilman Gregory?
Yeah, on the Hope Center. Are we still gonna move forward with, it's not Cumberland, is it? No, it's not
Cunnington Avenue?
either. Where?
Is that, are you talking about Cunnington Avenue?
No, I mean, we were doing, you remember we had the rapid housing and we were putting it the municipal, wherever that is.
Yeah, at the municipal ops, right?
Right.
So that still is in plan and in process, but we have general support, but nobody's written a check yet for contributing towards that. So there is some wood left to be chopped on that with our neighboring municipalities and the county to make that a reality. We had a meeting on that this morning. We are still determined to come up with a regional approach to address the increasing amount of unhoused that we have in our community. I think the next steps on that will be to reconvene with some of our strategic partners on this to see what it might take to get them over the line. That is still, again, a work in progress, but my point on all of this is that it's taking more time, and we need to keep the operations of the Hope Center going. They have a temporary home. They've been in it for a while now, but we need to do a little bit of work there just to make it more, if you've been in there, it needs the work. And they're doing good things there, and I think it's, again, money well spent. But by no means have we given up on this effort. It is complicated, a lot of people to get engaged on and to the table, but we are determined to make it happen.
Just as a follow-up, and correct me if I'm wrong, I thought that we'd already approved, okay, funding for not the rapid housing part of it, but the Hope Center in general. I thought that council had approved that, what, years ago, a couple of years ago?
We have, but there's not enough money to build it. I mean,
Okay.
we're about 5 million short.
Okay, the only reason I'm raising it is I don't want rapid housing to hold up us doing this Hope Center.
Well, then we need to reappropriate $5 million to build it.
We really need to figure that out, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Councilman Bowden.
And I don't necessarily disagree. I just want to point out that the Hope Center as it exists today, well, first of all, this money will go a long way in making it just a nicer place to be, but they're doing really great work. I'm on the board of, I really don't know what it's called, but a nonprofit that's supposed to administer the Hope Center at some point maybe. We got a great update the other day about how many people they're plugging in with drug and alcohol services as well as mental health services, and how badly that's going to be needed when the library undergoes some renovations. And I think we could probably expect to see a lot of people who kind of spend their day in the library. So pointed comments. I mean, we do need to move forward on that, but the Hope Center as it exists today and will exist at that facility for a bit of time here is doing great work.
How much time do we have left on that lease?
I believe it's through the end of 26, or is
End of
it 27?
26?
Stands now through December of 2026. He just agreed verbally. Our real estate folks just need to get a lease going to go through December of 2027.
Okay, because
So
I just don't
two
want us to get to a point where that lease is up
Sure,
and we don't have any alternative
I agree.
for the Hope Center.
Yes.
That's why I'm bringing up, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Somewhere else?
Councilman Mitchell.
Yeah, I just want to, since we approve it, what it is, I know we are at the Hope Center on Meeting Street, which is the district I represent, but, we don't own it, and we are still paying a whole lot of money there to keep it going, although we are renting it for $1 a year to give us that. But we talked about this years ago on council that we needed to have something done on our own so we have our own building, that we don't have to keep renting and paying things out and fixing that building that we don't even own, because we're going to have to keep repairing it while we're there. So this is why I was looking at it very seriously. So far as the Hope Center on Connington, to get something going that'll be our center, that'll be our building. And that's why I'm kind of kind of looking at it seriously that way, because just spending money and renting money and spending money on something, on a building that's not ours. And I know it's $1 a year is fine. And I know the building very well because I know who owned the building, before. Previous anyway. It was a good friend of mine who had owned the building before he lost it, so to speak, and that was, so this is why I'm saying I know the building needed a lot of work in there too, from years ago. And we need to have our own and stop putting money out and renting, and that's what we try to get away from, this renting and paying, putting money into something that we don't own right now. And that was my position on that with the Connington Avenue in the beginning, that if we did something there, we would own that particular building, even if we had to go out and do something else, And I did not start talking about the rapid housing. I'm not saying anything about that, but still talking about having our own building and having something there that we own and we can do other things with. That's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, any other discussion on item number 21? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 22 was considered a Public Works, Public Works Committee yesterday. This is a change order in the amount of $106,004.37 for resolving underground
Move for approval.
utility conflicts with some brick arch culverts. Can't speak today. We have moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 23 is another item that was considered by Public Works and Utilities yesterday. This is a construction contract in the amount of $163,398.66 for the Sandcroft Drive outfall. Moved and properly seconded. Any other discussion on this item? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. And then lastly, or last for my part, item number 24.
Move for approval.
This is accepting a grant for an award for $551,753 for school resource officers. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Now I'll turn this over to Councilmember Appel for his report on the Committee on Real Estate, which was held yesterday, Monday, August 18th.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. City of Charleston Committee on Real Estate met yesterday afternoon. Considered a lot of different items. I'm going to go through them right now. Everything was adopted unanimously, other than some of the annexations that we'll get to in a minute.
Move for approval.
Hey, there you go. That was good. Just one other thing I'll note is one of the annexations, that proposed annexation on Folly Road, was denied unanimously by the committee. And I learned right before we went live that the developer has withdrawn his annexation application. So we won't need to, I guess, vote on that when we get to the Ways and Means agenda at full council.
Did he say the reason why?
I think it's because he got a unanimous denial at Real Estate
Oh,
Committee,
okay.
but I might have had something to do with it. Other than that, we had I before closing out, do want to recognize that we had 22 annexations in a single neighborhood over in West Ashley. This is that settlement. Name of the neighborhood is the Settlement. It's right next to Ashley Hall Plantation, Ashley Harbor. It's in Ashley Hall Plantation. Some of the veterans on council may have remembered many years ago, that property was proposed to be annexed for a cluster development. That proved to be controversial, so it stayed in the county, got developed in the county, and now all the way in, fast forward to August 2025, we got them. Took them a little while, but we got them. It's a beautiful neighborhood over there. So this might have been a record for annexations, and we gave a shout out to Molly, our annexation coordinator, for doing such a great job. And I guess that concludes my report. Thank y'all.
Councilwoman Parker.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Chairman. Is anyone from planning here? I think that I understand that it's been withdrawn, but I still have a question. Because I think at committee, is anyone from planning here? Okay. So the existing site that the property owner has currently in the city, I believe, if I'm incorrect, please tell me, but at committee, they are not able to build commercial there. I just want it to be very clear to constituents that, because it's a bit confusing. I mean, they have a parcel in the city that has a current designation.
Right. Correct. So there were basically two things happened. There was one issue was there was an annexation request for two properties that was at the
Well, let,
real estate. But the PUD itself, which I think is what you're referring to, the PUD itself does actually allow commercial development there. And has since the initial PUD was adopted, I think, back in 2007, as a mixed use, PUD. Of course, the residential aspect was developed, but the commercial aspect to this day has not been developed. So there is opportunity there for commercial development on the site. If, of course, everything is met.
and what is its current designation as a commercial use?
I believe within the PUD is designated as a limited business.
Okay,
zone.
so just again, for anyone watching, any constituents, that could be a car wash, a
It could-
gas station. What else?
Any number of retail, office.
Dollar General,
Retail, yes.
retail. Okay, so I just want that to be very clear for anyone in the real estate committee who may have misinterpreted what the city may have, I don't know, I wasn't at the committee meeting, is that this owner could develop this property and it is the highest intensity use that this city operates on. And the last thing that James Island wants is another car wash, gas station. So while I didn't really see this as an upzoning, I mean, I certainly, if we take, because annexing these two properties, I could be again interpreting it wrong, but annexing these two properties would thus, you might call it downzoning the property, right? Because then it would just be stuck to a residential use and the commercial component would be stripped completely, correct?
It really just depends on the viewpoint of the developer at this point.
Well, the
as to whether they would
viewpoint-
consider it a downzoning.
Well, the viewpoint,
So the PUD's already, they have the PUD there, which allows for commercial regardless of whether these properties were annexed
so
or not.
has were they open to stripping that component out? Again, either way, it is what the chips landed where they landed, but I want the city to take a clear stance with James Island that yes, this property that this owner currently has could be developed under the LB use. That is the by right use.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe for a little bit of clarity though, that developer could have developed it with or without the annexation. It's got the LB use, whether he gets these parcels or not. So.
Follow up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, Councilmember Gregg, that's what I wanted to point out, that if he does not annex these acres, these 2.4 acres, he can just develop this parcel as LB.
Yep, but he could, whether he did or did not annex.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
but he was choosing to possibly go the residential route, so just.
Oh, Councilmember Appel, anything to add to your committee report? Any other discussion on? Yeah, so do we have a motion to accept the report in a second? All right. All those in favor of accepting the committee report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.